Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. It's cacao time.
Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now?
Can we hear? Let's see. I'm going to.
It's cacao time.
I'm hearing
Can you hear us
myself.
now? We hear voices, so this is
Wow, how
perfect.
super annoying is that? And also effective. Good. Wow, I can't watch myself. That's horrible. But look, there I am. Okay, but I can hear, so we can hear today. So for those of you just tuning into this madness, we had an amazing episode last time, and nobody heard it.
So radio silence. I also will say Mercury has gone direct as of yesterday, I believe. And so I do believe last week's fiasco was related to Mercury being in retrograde. So bye-bye, Mercury retrograde.
Well,
hello, Mercury direct.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking we should hire a lip reader to watch the episode and translate it for us, because there were some really good stories in there, some good nuggets. Man. So I can't even remember what all we said, but ooh, we have a new cacao mug. That's gorgeous. I'm jealous. Oh, that's awesome. Where did that
I actually get from? 2 mugs, but the other one I will wait for another date. But it's totally me also. But and in this mug I'm drinking, I don't know if I can tip it so you can. It is like so big and so full because this has got to be like probably 2 servings of cacao, because cacao ceremony yesterday I had 2 no-shows. And so I had a lot of extra cacao, and we cannot waste cacao.
That's
so
right.
I brought it home, and I probably could have used this for today and tomorrow, but I don't know. I'm drinking it all. So if by the end of the show I'm flying or going in and out of dimensions, you know why.
There you go. I presume we will have all the world's problems resolved by the time you finish that cup of cacao. So
absolutely.
Yeah, if you're listening, put your life-altering questions in the comments. We're totally going to wrap this up today. It's all about the process and the process and the process. And I'm like, oh my God, let's just be done with it. Like, let's just resolve this. So I'm really glad for our question today. I have my good old-fashioned little cauldron mug here today, but since you did show a new vessel, I will show you one of mine. This is like a little Viking.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that cool?
That is gorgeous.
Isn't that
and
neat?
It's carved from it's like a horn.
Yeah, it's a horn. Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember which animal, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And I haven't decided what to drink from it yet, because like if you can tell, like for scale, it's not very big. It's bigger than a shot glass. It might be like, I don't know, 3 ounces or something. But anyway, so yay, new mug day for everybody. Exciting.
So are we saving the world first, or am I retelling my water story from last week?
Oh my gosh. Well, let's retell our water story. We'll start where we left off.
Yeah.
You had your Activate the Goddess one-day retreat, right? Which was amazing as always. And I missed it because I'm up here.
We were missing you. We were missing you for sure. But Doris is definitely a good companion. I want a different word. Like, I don't know. But anyway. Say again?
Co-creator?
Yes, she was a fabulous co-creator with me. And she had she's also a magical being as well, but she's also a professor. So she's so used to sitting in front of people and talking. So it made it really, really, really easy.
I love that.
So for those that have never been to one of our retreats and don't know, we have a vessel of water that comes with us from one retreat to the next retreat to the next retreat. And, for those who are familiar with the work of Masaru Emoto and the other woman, I don't know why I can't get her name like permanently embedded in my memory. So when I speak, she kind of took his work like to the next level. And so, but water retains the frequency, the energy of what we put in it. So we have this water that sits on our altar, and this amazing water pitcher that kind of is like passed on from the women of my family. So like that makes it special, and it's just gorgeous. So the water, though, I store it in, a regular canning jar in between retreats, and it sits on my altar. But at the retreat, we pour it into the magical water pitcher, and it sits there for the duration of the retreat, collecting all the energy of that retreat. And then we pour little bottles for everybody of that water to take with them so that they have the frequency, not only of their retreat, but of all the women that have gone before them doing this work with us. So at this last retreat, I had the water on the altar, and at the end of the retreat, we pour 7 of these bottles. And it was funny, like there's a piece of me that, like, of course I knew there was plenty of water in the pitcher to fill these bottles, but during the middle of pouring them, like I had this brief little like, ooh, I got to make sure that I save some water at the end so that we have, so that we can continue the frequency. And obviously, like when we pour water out, we add new water in to keep the whole thing going, because otherwise, yes, eventually we would run out of water. But so anyway, we pour these waters, everybody leaves, we're cleaning up. And so I go to pour the pitcher from the water back into the jar that I conceal. And I pour the water back in, and the jar is full, just like it was when I brought it. And I'm like, this can't be possible, because I filled 7 bottles with water. And this jar is still full.
And how do we explain that, right? I mean, it's not like there was no one else there. It's not like this was a, 300 person event where somebody could have like, oh, let me refill that for you. Like nobody, and everyone knows not to touch the pitcher, right? And your jar is put away, I'm sure. That's not sitting out, right?
Yeah. Well, and there was no water in the jar when I went to fill it. So it wasn't like somebody. Yeah. It was just one of those things. I come home and I tell my boyfriend the story, and he's like, you got to up that, like turn the water into wine. All right. Yeah, next level.
Then we'll really fill retreats. Yeah.
Julia, turn water into wine.
Yeah, I don't know. It is very interesting, and I see it as, a sign of something good and something hopeful, and really, really beautiful. That's amazing.
So the next, well, I don't know, there might be a mini retreat before then, but the next big retreat that this water will travel to is our 4 elements, which water is one of the elements. So we'll be spending a little extra time with that water and with the waterfall. And do you know off the top of your head your dates for this? And I want you to say the name of the place where it's at, because it cracks me up.
So the town is called Sate Nakuchi. It is in northern Georgia, just near Helen. I don't know if you guys remember that it's like a cute little German touristy town, kind of like a baby Gatlinburg. But the dates are June 19th through 22nd. So it is 3 overnights, 4 days. And it's at a retreat center called Alohi, which has a fabulous name. You'll have to attend so you can hear the story of why it's called Alohi. But it is run by the most wonderful family. And even though we're just attendees, quote unquote, when you get there, you get to meet everybody. And it's such a family affair, literally. I have never seen grounds so meticulously maintained. There's a lot of really easy, like my level hiking trails, which we love, and it's so safe because it's all just enclosed. I think it's like 200 acres or something like that. So you'll be able to walk through everywhere and, go at your own pace if you want, or go with us during our excursions and things like that. But it is going to be super cool. And I can't wait to fill a jar with water from the waterfall that we're going to have an experience with. I'm all about the elements, and I'm just like really, really excited.
Yay.
Speaking of frequency, I've got my new studio set up here in Murphy, North Carolina, for those listening that want to come visit. I am putting together, actually, I can show you a little show and tell. These are all my local resources that I have been pulling together. I'm going to put together some different packages and things like that. But I've got my entire sound bath set up in the studio as well. So I've got the gong, and I've got the Himalayan bowls, and, the lots of drums, and, all kinds of different instruments. But so I've been playing and whatnot, and how your phone listens to everything that you're doing. So I've been getting a lot of different stories about sound healings and whatnot. And one of them was that they have actually started playing music, like sound bowls specifically, in NICUs of hospitals. So, I grew up in a time, and I'm sure you too, where a lot of these things are like so foreign, and what's that? And why would a sound even make a difference? Like, no, if I'm sick, I'm going to go to the doctor, and I'm not saying don't, like, definitely do what feels good to you. But it is super cool to see how, modern day science is acknowledging what, has been true for all time, which is sound and frequency do affect literally your cellular structure. And I'm so excited to see that and share that. And how cool is that?
Super cool. I did see something too. I don't know that I talk about sound stuff that much although Facebook's listening right now, so I guess it's got it. But I saw the thing too about doing sound
Facebook's
therapy.
always listening.
So that's a step in the right direction of making a more compassionate world. So before we got on today, I looked at, because we chose all these topics like months ago. And so when I read this one, I was like, oh my God, this sounds so huge. How do you envision contributing to a more compassionate world? And I'm like, that's all I do all day, every day. I'm just waiting for the world to catch up.
I was just thinking that the answer for me, from my perspective, it's actually the simplest of all the questions that we've had. And for me, I'll answer first, is, starting to be more and more kind and compassionate to myself. I get a lot of ads, well, not ads, but like TikToks and stuff like that, talking about like alcohol abuse and addictions and all of these things. And there's this one rabbi that explains how addiction is not the problem. Addiction is a solution that someone in pain is trying to use. And I picked addiction just because it was the first thing, but whether it's addiction or war or hatred or anger or all of that, fear, anger, it's really just starts with loving yourself enough as is, right? Living authentically. So I think that's a pretty good starting point for me.
Yeah. I always say, if everybody in the world truly loved themselves, all of the problems in the world would disappear. And I guess it could be possible for everybody to just instantly to decide to fully love and accept themselves. But my experience is that it's more of a process, and we all learn to love ourselves a bit more, bit by bit by bit. And, that's a big component of the healing work that I do, is getting people to recognize the pieces of themselves that they aren't loving and find some compassion and love for themselves. um I think one of the other ways that we're contributing is introducing everybody to the great heart opener of cacao. And but what's interesting to me is that, and it's so, like, I get frustrated talking about it because, you know, in the spiritual journey realm that I'm living in, and, like, I have this vision of this world that we can live in that is a truly compassionate, loving space where, I don't, people will say, like, it's not your job to change the world. And I know that I don't change the world. The only thing I can change is changing myself. And by changing myself, the world changes. I also often, say to myself and people, like, if you see something out there in the world that you don't like, it's because that thing somehow exists within you. And so heal it within you, and then it will heal. As within, so without. But yes, like, people tell me, like, no, like, your job isn't to change the world. But yes, it is. Like, let me do it. And I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one, like, with this vision of seeing the world being a better place.
Yeah, but I think what we're talking about is more so like the access point, right? Because I don't think anyone can change another person, right? You can lead a horse to water, right? So at the end of the day, the weight of I'm going to change the world, that feels really big for everybody. I mean, there's a lot going on in the world right now that I feel completely um helpless to make any sort of, dent in, right? There are things happening internationally and nationally that what's little old me sitting in my house going to do? And also, I also keep this on my desk too, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has, Margaret Mead. But I can't even get together this group of small citizens until I get myself together, until I mean, that's why all the greats all say the same message in a different way, right? Do unto others as you would have done unto you. Be the change you want to see in the world, right? I forget what band it is, Nickelback or somebody, it starts with one. There you go, you get a song. But at the end of the day, it's got to start with you. It's got to start with your own happiness. That's what I see, that even even the little things, right? It doesn't have to be big things. It could also be how you show up in traffic and how you show up in line at the grocery store. It really just is so tiny. It doesn't have to be a big, massive effort, I don't think.
All of those things are just little ripples that, it's like you drop the pebble in the pond, and the ripples start out small, but then they just keep going and going and going and becoming bigger.
Yeah. I think for me, one of the things that I'm constantly working on is, and I keep repeating it almost as a mantra, is let me look at this with compassion and curiosity. Why is this person, like this morning, I was driving my kids to school. It's dark, it's wet, it's, rainy outside, and we're on a big highway. So here, the big highway doesn't have, like, it's just it's almost like Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, where, like, well, actually in Fort Lauderdale, there's a lot more streetlights. Here, there's no streetlights. So you have to merge from zero, from a standstill at a stop sign, onto a 60-mile-an-hour road. And it, you got to time it, right? Because if not, the person behind you is just like being on 995. They're going 60 miles an hour and you're like still at 20 trying to speed up. Anyway, point being, I had someone behind me this morning and they were like right on top of me. And I'm like, oh man, like this is what I left South Florida for. Like, I'm not about this. And I was getting irritated. And then I was like, okay, compassion and curiosity. Maybe this person is having an emergency. Maybe this person, I don't know. There's a reason that they're so in a rush. And so, you know what? I just scooted over to the next lane. I let them fly past me. Good luck to them. Godspeed. And I released it, So I don't know,
having that, what are the possibilities? It's possible this person isn't just an asshole. It's possible, maybe their best friend is dying and they're trying to get there. Or I had my own experience of that last week when I got off 95. My car has that feature that, like, when you stop at a red light, the engine shuts off. And then when you go and hit the gas again, the engine starts up. And my car shut off and then it didn't turn back on.
Oh boy.
And, I'm on Oakland and 95. A good place for this to be happening. And of course, everybody behind me is just wailing on their horns. And I'm going, I'm sure that they think that I'm that person sitting there scrolling on my phone. Yeah. Like, but no, my car won't start. And, it took a hot minute and I got my car to start and I got to go. But I just, I had that thought. I bet you they all think that I'm sitting here stopped because I'm paying more attention to my phone than the traffic light. And I wasn't. Like, we really have to be careful with our assumptions about the situation and things. Just be kinder and more compassionate and relax everybody.
At my kid's school, there's somebody that's, it must be, I presume it's a student. I don't know. I think it's hysterical and I want one for myself, but it's a little sticker on the window and it's like pretty, like it's pink or whatever. And it says, "Don't honk at me, I'll start crying." And I was like, oh my God, I love that so much. But it does, like, effectively, it does give you a bit of pause. Like, oh my gosh, that's not just a car. There's a human being with feelings inside, and we don't know what they're going through. So, okay, like, let me go, what if that was your kid, right? So anyway. Absolutely. Yeah, I need that. Don't honk at me or I'll cry. Don't look at me or I'll cry. Oh man, it's been a week.
Well, there's all these people out there that think that, like, we have to have the good and the bad, because if we didn't have the bad, we wouldn't recognize the good. But I'm like, there's so much bad out there that we don't need. And even if everything was good and perfect, like, things are still going to happen that are not good for us to continue to have the duality without having war and people starving and hatred. And, like, kids are still going to fall down and break their arm. Like, that's enough bad for us. People are still going to die. That's enough bad for us. Like, we don't need all of this other stuff on top of it. So,
right. Well, I was going to say, you know what? Let's just try it. Just one time in human existence. Let's just try it. Let's just try having everything be good.
Yeah. But, so
anyway,
drink more cacao, everybody, and open your heart. And first and foremost, really try being more loving to yourself today. Like, stop beating yourself up. Stop complaining about yourself. Stop judging yourself. Just love yourself. And if you need help loving yourself, reach out to Graciela or I. We'll show you how.
And it starts it'll start with cacao. I am in January here in Murphy. We're going to launch our how to cacao class and our chakra balancing class, and yeah, I'm really excited to get folks in. I'm bringing back the speakeasy nights and the Friday night films. Yeah. So I'm super excited for folks to come over and hang out and create those spaces, because I think they're so needed everywhere. Yeah, I love it.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. You got anything else to share?
No, yeah, save the date for June. Limited spaces available in the retreat center. It is not unlimited. It is being marketed nationally, so you're not just in competition with our locals, but all around. So make sure you grab your spot there.
Also, don't forget, we also have on January 4th our
Yes.
replay of the vision board masterclass. And
Yes.
even you could use the vision board masterclass to help manifest your attending the retreat with us in the summer.
There you go. Yeah. And the retreat itself has a low entry point deposit. So even if you are not sure and you kind of want to talk about it more, like just pick up the phone or it's call, text, whatever. Let's have a conversation. We'll tell you how it's going to be. Although the website has so much detail in it. But anyway, and then January 4th, again, low entry level, like it's not a huge investment. So plus you're kind of changing your life. So it's totally worth it. I'm really excited. I've been chatting with our graduates from our last masterclass, and they are all making beautiful strides towards their visions and goals. And I'm just really excited and proud of them. And yeah, it'll be really exciting for this next batch.
Yes, yes, yes. All right. I'm fully cacaoified right now.
I bet you are. I bet you are.
I feel like I need to go meditate now.
You're actually a bit red.
Yes, no, it's definitely like it's hitting me for sure. Vanessa, if you're still listening, this is your cacao from last night that I'm drinking.
There you go.
And so yeah, have a loving, compassionate day, everybody, and love yourself more.
Amen. Have a good day.